What's going on, growers? It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. Today, I want to share with you how me and Tuck converted an unused concrete slab and changed that into a productive raised bed garden. Let's go! I'm walking over to the back corner of my young 4-year-old food forest, and just a couple months ago, this section was a useless concrete slab serving no function. And I wonder if some of you have a similar area in your yard that's not being utilized. So all I was doing was just weeding around the slab and covering it with wood chips, and then Tuck came by and said, that's not the way to do it. Instead, he said, we should try to convert this section from something that we have to work for, instead works for us. After looking over this section, me and Tuck decided that building a raised bed would best serve our needs. We didn't want to just plant in pots and then put pots here because we find that growing in raised beds is easier, it's more convenient, and overall more fun. Also, we find that it's less maintenance because the raised beds dry out a lot slower because it's got much more mass and it's just a lot larger. One thing that's important about this bed that I want to emphasize is, I'll take you down here to show you, this bed is propped up so it doesn't sit completely flush on the concrete. You'll notice right here, this is important, and I'll bring you to the back as well. You can see the gap we have under here. Also, let me bring you in the back, where we have a gap where this bed does not sit flush on the concrete, because if this sits completely flush on the concrete, this bed, then there would allow for no water drainage. If the water can't drain out the bottom of the bed, then the soil at the bottom could go anaerobic, meaning without oxygen, and that'll just rot out your plants and stuff. So when it comes to building a bed on a concrete slab, you have to have good drainage, and you don't want the bed to be too large. As we look at this bed right here, I want it to go much larger than this, about 4 foot by about 5 feet, because you just don't want a spot that can't drain. If it's too big, it's gonna have a tough time draining at the center. So if you wanted to build say 2 beds instead of 1 big bed, I think that would be the way to go. Another thing me and Tuck did was we built a drainable basket at the bottom of this bed to allow for the excess moisture to drain out, but not the soil to wash away. So the way we built this was, we took 1/4-inch hardware cloth and then cut it to the size of the base of the bed, and then screwed in that hardware cloth at the base. After we did that, we took some landscape fabric and covered the hardware cloth with the landscape fabric. This way, the hardware cloth could hold that landscape fabric in so it doesn't tear and rip when the soil comes down, but the landscape fabric also allows the water to drain. So it'll hold in the soil at the bottom, but allow the water to drain, giving us exactly what we want. For the base of the beds, we chose untreated 2x10s. And I chose these 2x10s because they're a pretty adequate height for growing some of your shallow rooted veggies, like your lettuces or your pak choys or your other Asian greens. This way we wouldn't have like a lot of extra soil at the bottom. So we just use as much soil essentially as we need on this lower part, with the perfect amount of soil to grow these shallow rooted plants. Before I continue progressing on this video, I just wanted to share what was some of the inspiration for it. And this is it. The idea is that you walk out into your backyard or your front yard or your porch or wherever your garden is, and that you see things with a new set of eyes. All too often, we walk past our opportunities and our chances and miss them because they're right underneath our noses. We get so used to seeing things how they are, and we lose the vision of what they can be. And then because of that, we don't get things started. We put things off. We want to wait for the perfect scenario in order to get started. I'm here to tell you that the perfect scenario will never arise. The best time to start is right now. And it's better to do it wrong and learn than to not do it at all. So if you need that little push, that little urge to get growing, I'm telling you right now, get started today. Let's get back to the bed though. Because me and Tuck wanted to grow some deep-rooted plants, we decided that a terraced raised bed would be a good idea. This way in the back section, we could have this deep area where we can grow those deep-rooted plants. Like we have some beans right here. We've got peppers right next to us here. Beautiful here. This way we can get the best of both worlds. We're not overusing soil by having this shallow section, but we can grow deep roots in the deeper section. And this shorter section right here is facing the south. This way, as the summer starts to wane down and the sun starts to drop in the south, this shorter section doesn't shade out that further section on the north right there. And to save soil, thereby saving money, me and Tuck filled the bottom of the section with unused old logs. Then over top of that, we put sticks on it, and then over top of that, we put some compost. Then on the top 12 inches or so, we put our good homemade high quality soil. This way we're not wasting a lot of that soil, but still getting a lot of use out of the soil that we do use. After me and Tuck finished filling the bed, next we came out here and got a lot of our stuff transplanted into this bed. We decided to grow a lot of things that were shade loving because this section gets a good amount of shade. Fast forward 2 months ahead, and that's where we're at now. And you can see this bed is loaded with so much food, getting a lot of production out of this section that we used to get nothing out of. Right here, you'll see some basil doing real well. Other basil right next to it in this lower section. Here's some lettuce planted here. I missed some of this lettuce and it went to seed, but I wanted to just save it in here so you guys could see that we were growing some really nice lettuce in here. Right here in this front section, we've got some green beans that are just starting, and on the back, we've got green beans that are finishing, which I'll show you. But we've got some tatsoi down here too. So we're getting good production out of this low section. As we move up, we've got so much Swiss chard here. We've got some peppers, you can see with peppers on them, doing real well. We've got some nasturtium, beautiful flower right there. A beautiful row of green beans in the back, loaded with beans. 2 kales right here, looking excellent. And we also have this red Malabar spinach, which is growing out from the corner of this garden and then moving its way over to the fence, and it's going to grow along that fence line. So as you can see, this section is just packed with food. We're getting a lot of production out of it. And one reason I love this so much, and gardening in general, is because this food is beyond organic. This is beyond organic gardening. And I can say that because the stuff that they sell in stores, even when they call it organic, it's not even close to this quality, because they're constantly changing what the word organic means and redefining it and adding new things into it that they call organic. So it goes back to one of my favorite quotes of all time, one that I always use and I'll never stop saying, and it is, if you want organic food, you got to grow it yourself. Tuck just came up to me and he told me that, you know, he's a little bit upset with me because he deserves some beans for coming up with the idea of the bed and also helping build it. So let's get you a snack, boy. Come on, Tucky. This guy loves his green beans, and he loves the dragon tongues like me, his favorite bean. He likes some of these young ones. If you come up close, look how well they're producing now. We've got a lot of food in here. So these are one of his favorite beans. They're my favorite. If you guys love seeing Tuck in the video, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. This guy is the inspiration for so many of the good things that have happened in the garden on the channel, and we owe a lot of gratitude and appreciation to this guy. He never quits. He's a hard worker. He's always out here, and he's more loyal than he even should be. So we know that we don't deserve this guy, how good he is, but we're thankful that he's here. And we're thankful that you're a part of the garden just like he is. That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. I hope Tuck inspired you to go out there with a different set of eyes, to see some things that you didn't even know were opportunities, to search them out and to take advantage of them. I know that this guy, again, has been a great inspiration for us in the garden. He always keeps us active. And we're thankful because today it's like nearing the end of July, but it's a beautiful day out. It's only like the 80s and we've got a nice breeze. So me and Tuck want to make sure we're taking full advantage of a day like this, especially late in July. Before we let you go, we wanted to thank Shane Herrick for your new channel membership. Thanks for being a part of Team Grow. It means a lot to me and Tuck to know that we're creating value and that you feel like it's enough to contribute to it. So we do appreciate it. We also want to let you know to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to check out the merch down low. And remember, whenever you're on Amazon, start your shopping with our Amazon affiliate link. Tuck and James will be back at you again real soon. We